All right, guys, welcome back to the Road to Blizzcon European Regionals for Hearthstone. Let's jump into this next game between SilverName and Asmodai. His name is Cosplay Grill in-game, but it is Asmodai. Don't be fooled. And both players bringing the same lineup, both of them bringing a warrior, apparently a patron warrior, because that's what this mirror matchup is going to consist of. And both bring a druid and a warlock as well. It's probably going to be a mid-range / fast druid. And then, yeah, a handlock probably to follow that up, unless some of these players have a little bit of a different lineup. I remember Asmodai bringing a demon handlock, actually, I think, which is a little bit cooler. So we'll see how this matchup goes. Double golden warrior. That's pretty cool, at least. Starting hand, for both of them, rather decent. Not great for either one of them. Having the coin is probably a little bit better for SilverName since, well, it's more cards and basically, yeah, more options with that coin. You might think about just playing the Armorsmith here. Not really too much merit to it, though. So basically in this matchup, you are favored if you get off your first wave of patrons first. Funny thing is, neither of these guys have patrons in their hand just yet. There's a Thaurissan here for Asmodai first. Might end up just shield blocking. Like, just armoring up seems too weird. Playing the Acolyte is rather risky because, like, that's the first turn where just a War Axe and even a Coin Deathspite, like, both is possible. And we see that SilverName actually has both. So Acolyte wouldn't be the right choice. Shield block looking good, though. Oh, and he's actually going to play the Acolyte. All right, so he's apparently fine with just drawing one card off of that? Like, I'm a little bit surprised to not see the shield block, because in my mind, the only reason to not play the shield block is if you want to shield slam something for a lot of damage. But, like, what are you shield slamming in this matchup, like, to 100%? Like, what are you keeping it for, right? The only thing is probably Thaurissan. There's a Loot Hoarder off the top. Could play that. Could also play a weapon. Could also play an Acolyte. Or just quit out a Gnomish Inventor to curve out pretty nicely. Going face for huge damage with the Armorsmith first, of course. And he's going to coin that Gnomish Inventor. I like it. He's playing a Taskmaster as well in this deck, so it's actually a pretty different version of Patron Warrior. One with Loot Hoarders and Taskmasters. Probably cutting a slam. Gnomish Inventor drawn as well here for Asmodai. He could play that. The question with the Gnomish Inventor in the mirror matchup is always just how scared are you really of that Deathspite? Because, like, the Deathspite could come down here for Asmodai, but then he throws away half of his axe and the 1/1 Armorsmith lives. The question is for how long? He's going to equip that Deathspite and kill off the Gnomish Inventor. Inner Rage drawn, and that's a pretty big deal, because next turn he can make really a crap ton of patrons. And that Deathspite should get equipped now, because if he just goes face now, he can set up for a big wave of patrons next turn with the Inner Rage. That's 4 patrons, and there's nothing his opponent can do about that. Literally nothing, because he doesn't have a patron or an Inner Rage himself, so he can't possibly make as many. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. There's that Deathspite getting set up. And Asmodai knows what's up. He just knows, right? And he can't feel good about this. He's going to draw with the Gnomish Inventor. He's like, okay, might as well get some more draws in. It's also going to be a lot of armor gain by these patrons. Surely SilverName's going to go for it, right? Surely. Oh, there's even a Whirlwind for next turn if there's more than one patron surviving. There's the Inner Rage. Plus Deathspite attack. 4 patrons on the board. Everyone got in here. And what can Asmodai do to get back on this board? It's so brutal. He can't counter with his own patrons. And he can't attack with his Deathbite either, but he can't take damage either. Oh, there's a patron. Ah, but it's so brutal. Like, you can play Thoros on here for sure, but it just trades so brutally good, right? And look at the answer from SilverName, because he's just going to trade with his 5-1, and then he's going to Taskmaster one of his patrons and Whirlwind all over again. Actually, no, he's not going to Taskmaster. Like, a single Whirlwind already completely fills the board together with Acolyte. So you might as well just keep the task. Pile on. And this is probably the most important turn for Asmodai, because this is a turn where he has to think about his game plan, right? Like, how do I win this game? How do I win this game? Not how to, like, it's not about how do I clear this board or how do I stay alive. It's about how do I win this game in the end. And he thinks that it's by reducing the cost, probably of his Frothing Berserker in the first place, to one-turn kill his opponent at some point. Because if there's a lot of patrons on board without like any taunts at all, the only reason to abuse that, or the only way to abuse that in the mirror matchup, is obviously by just charging up your patron for your Frothing Berserker, sorry, for just insane damage. So Thorason's going to die for sure, and I would be very surprised to not see a Whirlwind. The question is, what does he pair the Whirlwind with? A Frothing Berserker that he just drew? Or just an Acolyte? Because if he Whirlwinds for 3 more patrons, there's only room for 1 more card on the board. There's a trade in the first place. He could also just Whirlwind and like Loot Hoarder or something, but it would kind of be a waste of the Whirlwind if you, or not a waste, but like, it would be a waste of, it would be a waste to not play the Acolyte at least with it or something. I don't see what the Taskmaster does. Back to work. Unless he doesn't want to Whirlwind and keep it, actually. Okay, that's a line of play I didn't even think about. I like it, though. Don't forget to attack for 11 damage. Never mind, make that 14. Oh, Asmodai, what do you do here, man? What do you do? If he had a Whirlwind, he could actually clear this board in a pretty funny way. Right? Because if the board's full, no more patrons get, like, summoned. So the way to kill, like, off all the patrons of your opponents is if you make a full board, or if he has a full board, and you kind of bring them all to 1 HP total and then kill them all with the same Whirlwind effect at a time. That's the only way to kind of kill this. Shield block. Other Battle Rage. Oh man, that's harsh. Slam. You just slam the 5-1 and hope you stay alive? Like, how much damage is that? Do I count 15? Is that 15 damage? No, it's 14, right? It doesn't matter. It's not lethal. It ain't lethal. Do you Whirlwind your Acolyte and hope for a Inner Rage? Or do you just go face at this point and play like a Loot Hoarder with it? Like, you have your board control set up so ridiculously well. Okay, so if we sweat with Asmodai here, let's sweat with Asmodai. Let's think about how can we come back from this position. I don't think there's any way of coming back, actually. I think the only way we get back in this as Asmodai is if we kind of one-turn kill our opponent with sick Frothing combos. We have 2 Whirlwind effects with the Ghoul. We have enough mana if we draw the second... We have exactly enough mana if we draw the second Frothing Berserker. So we need to draw that now on the next turn to even have a chance. Now, I didn't count the damage, but it could be enough. 2 HP. No second frothing. Is this enough? He's going for it immediately. Oh man, he's going for it immediately. Does that mean it's enough? I can't see this being enough. Or is it? I don't know. How much damage is this? It's a lot, that's for sure. He's going to get 2 draws off of the Acolyte, but what is he hoping for? Maybe an Inner Rage? Oh, a Whirlwind. A Whirlwind would be enough. He needs 34. 34 damage is what he needs. Oh man, he needs it so bad. It's lethal if he gets the Whirlwind. He needs it. He needs it so bad. No, and it's not it. Huge props to him, though, for seeing that, for actually counting out the damage and like thinking about that Whirlwind. If he drew the Whirlwind there, that would have been insane. That would have been absolutely crazy. Yeah, but this way, it's just the first game of SilverName. Yeah, still pretty cool. So he was hoping for that Whirlwind right there to maybe get a chance of winning this game.